Good evening. Tonight is September 11th, 2017. This is the Dearborn Board of Education meeting. The meeting is called to order, and we're getting everybody in their places still. So next up is the roll call. Trustee Barry?
Here.
Trustee Hammoud?
Here.
Oh, I was going to say. Everybody
Trustee
on?
Nasser? Here. Trustee Mead?
Here.
Trustee Petlicoff here. Trustee Thorpe?
Here.
President Lane.
Present. So next item.
Pledge of allegiance to the flag. Ms. Rima Hassan, principal of Becker Elementary, will introduce students who will lead the Pledge of Allegiance, along with Mrs. Mary Ann Bartles, Library Director, Dearborn Public Library.
Good evening. Dr. Maleko, President Lane, trusted board members. I have Maria Gagman and Sundus Al-Harithi here to read the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great job. Thank
Awesome.
you. Come on up, Sundus and Maria. We have a certificate for you. We really appreciate you coming tonight. You did a great job. Thanks for your TV appearance. You see you're on TV right there, right? Thank you very much. Thank you to the parents who brought them. Thank you, Ms. Hassan. Okay. Next item.
9/11 Remembrance. Dearborn High School Men and Women's Ensemble will sing the National Anthem.
So we'll all rise again. Ms. Atkins, would you like to say anything?
Tell us about your students.
Your students, or? It was really a really moving tribute. We really appreciate you coming tonight. I know it's just for one number, but I have to say to the students, you bring me to tears. It was beautiful.
Well, this is our men's and women's ensemble combined. They've only been in class for, 2 or 3 days at most. When they came in, they didn't know it. They came together and they sang it together. These are the top choir students that we have at Dearborn High that have done well at festivals as separate, like men's and women's ensemble. But this year I decided to join them together. And this has just been a remarkable experience, having them come together and just being able to share their talents with one another and getting out of the tradition of just being one type of a choir or another. I'm extremely proud of them, and I told them what they did this past 2 days was like the DNA for the rest of the semester. They're going to be successful all the way through because they did this in 2 days. and they love working with each other, and I love working with them, and I'm so, so happy that I get to be with them. So they're just great kids, and thank you for having us.
No, thank you so much for being here on September 11th. It's especially poignant for me. So, thank you.
Thank you.
So I did have a statement to read.
Dr. Maleko, before we proceed on, Dr. Maleko did want to make a statement.
16 years ago today, America experienced the terrible events of 9/11. On that day, thousands of fellow citizens lost their life in a senseless act of violence. Since that day, many more people from all walks of life and from a variety of nations in our world have become victims of senseless acts of violence. Today, I ask our Dearborn Schools family and our community of schools across the city to join together to remember the events of September 11, 2001, those who lost their life on that day, and all those who continue to sacrifice to defend our freedom and keep us safe. Even at a time when our daily news is filled with stories that seem to tear at the fabric of our beliefs, we must remember that although our nation has endured many hardships, injustices, and tragedies, we have also triumphed, overcame, and grown stronger. Today and every day, let us never forget the times when we have been tested as a nation, for when we do, we will surely forget the more important times when we have stood strong as a nation. We can continue to build a strong nation and move our country forward by refusing to accept hate as an answer, by refusing to accept discrimination and racism, by working together to better the lives of all people because we are all citizens of a community, a city, a state, and this great country. The American spirit is resilient. It rallies in the time of crisis and comforts in the time of need. It is a spirit that is proud, a spirit that is free. The American spirit is here in Dearborn, and it is in the hearts of all. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Maleko, for that statement. I think we all appreciate it and agree with it.
All right. Trustee Petchlokoff, I just passed over my version of the agenda. We have a slight, I just wanted to let her know about one thing coming up. So, Trustee Petchlokoff, would you read the next item?
Superintendent's update, agenda items.
So I have one agenda item, our retirements. We have a few today. I'd like to congratulate and thank Jeffrey Clark, over 23 years of service, James Matthews, over 12 years of service, and Donna Petrius, over a year and a half of service. So we congratulate and thank the retirees.
Non-agenda items.
So I have a few announcements. I wanted to mention that we had a very successful first week of school. I appreciate the support of the cabinet, the board, all the staff all over who went out to the buildings to help our students. It was very calm. I got to tell you, it's one of the calmer first weeks I can remember in many years. I think it was all hands on deck as parents came together with staff, students. There were some interesting things that were done at the buildings. There was a lot of PTA get-togethers, sometimes outside, like at Whitmore. I know Lori had an interesting color-coded system that President Lane, you mentioned about getting the students, into the class and making sure they found their teacher. So there's some excitement with some anxiety first day of school. And so I just wanted to say, to everyone out there and our entire staff and community, I want to thank you. You really did an outstanding job. I also would say something that, I can't necessarily control, but the weather helped a little bit too. It was a little cooler than last year.
No snow day the first day of
There's
school.
no snow day. I did have individuals asking me for snow days already, though. I don't know.
Put it on the
first day
calendar.
of school, yes. So, and another one talked about heat days and whatnot, but we did have a pretty good week, and again, just wanted to thank everyone. Wanted to mention, too, I did get to every single building, some a few times. I told the board and the community that it would be a priority, so it took me 2.5 days to visit, and it wasn't just a quick go. It was really, walking through, interacting with students and staff, and I could tell you that as I went to the buildings, we saw a strong police presence supporting
In the
us as
streets.
well in the streets. I told the chief that, I told the mayor, I just was taped today on the mayor's show, and we talked about, the presence there and making sure that kids are safe. I know President Lane, you and I talked about, what a great thing maybe to walk to school if you're within distance, to cut down on some of the traffic congestion. So that's something we're going to continue to promote. I know the city and Sarah Gleischer through Healthy Dearborn is promoting that, but it also helps with safety. So we just want to remind people that it's important to slow down around the schools. We have our children there, and we want to make sure that everyone arrives safe. So again, thank you to the police for their presence. A couple more things with the first week. As the board knows, I've really tried to work hard, as all the board members have. We're a team, connect with the community. So it's been an important tradition that I started where I go to the schools where there's a new principal. We had very successful parent and staff visits with all the 5 new principals at the schools. It was very positive. Different things from, whether it be in the auditorium to the PTA meeting to actually one of them, they had it outside in front of Nowlin School. They kind of did it as a PTA event on a Friday night. So it was a real positive, that way. And I could tell you too, I'm going to continue. Soon we'll have the new chatting with the superintendent. Schedule will be coming out soon, and I'll be going to all the buildings in that manner. And I just think it's important, cabinet was all over the district as well, and just our visibility in the buildings, I believe, is important. It's part of my goals. With that, I want to tell you too that we worked very hard, and I want to thank the taxpayers, the board, everybody for, the Wayne County Enhancement Millage, I think had allowed for a smoother start with elementary. Last year, the board might recall in the community that we had an increase in enrollment. Well, this year we were more aggressive with class size. We have the best class size I've seen, and I'm speaking specifically to elementary, but even secondary as the numbers come in at least a decade, if not more. And we're looking at, we have an average of 22 at the lower L, 24 at upper L, 22.8 on average in all of our classes at K to 5. Secondary, we've reduced it between 25 to 27 at this point, and again, those numbers will be adjusted. So it's a real positive with class size, and the Wayne County Enhancement Millage has helped us to do that. And it allows for less disruption for students at the beginning of the year when we have less classes that we're adding, because we were able to add them in the month of July and August rather than doing it, as students arrive. But again, that has happened for years because there were tough times of budget crisis where we had to be fiscally responsible with our numbers.
We waited to the last minute to see how the...
Yeah, because we didn't have that luxury with the millage. So I also want to thank the parents with their patience with registration. As we get a lot of students that come, the first day and second day, it is tough to accommodate everyone. And sometimes we do ask people, to be a little patient and come back. We do encourage parents to come before the first day of school, but sometimes we know it's unavoidable because of their situations, and then we just appreciate their patience, and they were very patient. Along with welcoming others back, I know some of the board trustees were at the Welcome Back picnic for staff. I also have been to every single PD event to address all of our faculty. That includes teachers, administrators, our custodians, our transportation secretaries, to kind of welcome back and just show them that we appreciate them, and also to set the tone that we're a team here. And so, this motto I've put out there a few times that I really believe, and I think our district does, that and we've had some presentations on professional learning communities, but really if we're going to be successful, learning communities must be embedded in the culture of our schools. Teamwork and collaboration in Dearborn schools is not an option. It is who we are and what we do as part of our daily routine, and if we don't work that way, we will not be successful. So again, as I mentioned that as an expectation, I'm also thanking the staff for embracing that philosophy. So. One more, and then we're going to show a video. We did open the ASCD Welcome Center here. Excuse me. So now you would enter through the Welcome Center, unless employees that have badges. But we do have people that will greet and allow people to get through. I think we did have a little glitch on the first day with the badges, but we're getting through it, and that's just a way to increase customer service in the building here. So wanted to let everybody know that we have a welcome center. There's signs posted out in the parking lot, and that's the way the public should enter. And employees that are not part of this building. The board members, of course, have the badge access. One other thing before we play a video, this is a positive, that we had some news, and I emailed the board on Friday, I believe. The Title II budget, we got some news that the Senate they're talking about, through the DeVos administration and the Trump administration of cutting Title II, which we've talked about here, and we had a resolution that the board approved last month. And now there seems to be some movement in the U.S. Senate Appropriations Committee that they have not agreed with that, and so they have reinstated the allocation of cuts. So we'll see. There's still more work to do, but I think the advocacy that we've been engaged in is helpful. So I want to thank the board for passing the resolution and our legislators that have supported that. And the next thing we have is the Tyler Clementi pledge. In a second, we're going to show a video, and the video will kind of explain it, but we did this last year. And I know that tonight on the agenda, we do have action for the board to support this. Last year, the board actually said the pledge, but this year we decided to just show support this way, and we have a video that we pre-taped. So I'm going to ask Mr. Shigfree to play the video. Hello everyone, my name is Glenn Maleko. I'm superintendent for Dearborn Public Schools. I'm here with Ms. Charles, the coordinator of effective education. How are you doing, Denise?
I'm good, Dr. Maleko. How are you?
Doing very well, thank you. Now we're here for an important topic, the Tyler Clementi Pledge, which is being promoted not only in our district, but internationally through the state superintendent, through the American Federations of Teachers. And I know it's something that we've done last year when we are promoting bullying prevention throughout the district. So we do plan to promote this again the first week of school.
Yes.
We're here to take the pledge. What are your thoughts on this program?
Yes, we're very committed to this. It's our second consecutive year, and we're joining the Tyler Clementi Foundation because we believe in what they're doing in terms of promoting safety, promoting students feeling good about themselves. Tyler's story is somewhat sad because he was a young man with great promise on his way to Rutgers University, and he really came across some hard times and really could not regroup, didn't have those connections, and he committed suicide because he was being bullied. There was a lot of cyberbullying, and this happened in 2010, which really wasn't so far away. And we really want to make for certain that students understand the importance of being an upstander, of getting help when things are happening that are unsafe, and we want all of the community to join in with us for this very wonderful cause.
And I think we're being proactive too. We're not being reactive. We're being proactive, saying we're going to get out in front of it. We partnered with the city, with the mayor, with the police, Chief Haddad, with the parents, community all over, and we've had our Care to the Core event. So this is another way to be proactive and get the message out there. So if you don't mind, I'd like you to start out with the pledge, Ms. Charles.
Absolutely. I pledge to be an upstander. I will stand up to bullying whether I'm at school, at home, at work, in my house of worship, or out with friends, family, colleagues, or teammates.
I will work to make others feel safe and included by treating them with respect and compassion.
I will not use insulting or demeaning language, slurs, gestures, facial expressions, or jokes about anyone's sexuality, size, gender, race, any kind of disability, religion, class, politics, or other differences, in person or while using technology, if I see or hear behavior that perpetuates prejudice.
I will speak up. I will let others know that bullying, cruelty, and prejudice are abusive and not acceptable.
I will reach out to someone I know who has been the target of abusive actions or words and let this person know that this is not okay with me and ask how I can help.
I will remain vigilant and not be a passive audience or bystander to abusive actions or words. If I learn in person or online that someone is feeling seriously depressed or potentially suicidal,
I will reach out and tell this person, your life has value and is important. No matter how you feel at the moment, and no matter what others say or think, I will strongly encourage this person to get professional help.
thank you. And everyone across the district was promoting and saying the pledge during the first week. So we did that last year, and it's a way to be proactive. So thank you.
You know, just on that, I really hope, I mean, if we can all live by those words, it's beautiful. We know that
hopefully our actions will speak louder than words. And the number of suicides amongst our teenagers have been going up. And that really is an issue that I think every single one of us should be aware of and accountable for. And it's not just about saying a pledge. This really is a community effort. If you see somebody being bullied, or, whether it's parents that notice whether their child is the one that's being bullied or is the bully, we have counselors, we have our teachers, our staff, everyone. This really needs to be a community effort because, we can say all the words we want. We need our actions to basically relay those words, and that is so important now at this time. Because bullying is still a problem. So,
Thanks for noting that. Okay, we're about ready to move on. Dr. Maleko, I thought I'd mention it now rather than wait. There is also upcoming a college fair. I see some of the high school assistant principals. So coming up pretty quickly is a college fair district-wide at the Ford Performing Arts Center, and that'll be September 19th from 6 to 7:30. And I would encourage high school students to attend, parents to attend. I think parents are welcome also, so, yeah. Secretary Petchlikov.
Recognition and acknowledgements. The big read, we'll have Mary Ann Bartles come forward, Director of our Dearborn Public Libraries.
Yes, thank you. Thank you to Dr. Malenko for inviting me this evening, and good evening to all the board members. As Trustee Petchlikov said, I'm the director of the library, and we are very excited to say that we've won the Big Read grant one more time.
Again, yes.
Again, this is the third time. And the staff is very excited about this. The book that we have chosen with the help of the schools, because we feel that the schools are an important partner for us, and we want to make sure it's a book that they can get behind and embrace. And so they gave us 3 suggestions, and this is the one we came to. It's The Namesake by Jhumpa Lahiri, and I just finished reading it, and if you haven't read it, it is an excellent book, and I think it is just so very important for our community, for any community for that matter. It talks about the immigrant experience, and I think each one of us can look back in our families and know that we were all immigrants. And the transition to the American way of life from another culture and the struggles that those immigrants have, and then the struggles also of that first generation of children trying to fit between both worlds. I think there is just so many important themes in this book, and I'm so excited that this is the book that we have chosen. We've got some great programs coming up. We had the launch a few weeks ago, and it was successful. We had about 60 people join us, but the real kickoff is Sunday, March 18th from 3 to 5 p.m. at the Ford Community and Performing Arts Center. And we've chosen that venue because they have a really big stage. And we're going to have a lot of dance troupes doing different dances from various countries. And then we will be giving away, we have a limited supply, but a pretty good supply of the books. So we'll be giving away the books at that kickoff event on March 18th. And throughout March and April, we'll have just so many wonderful programs at the library and at some of our partner organizations. We have 10 or 15 partner organizations beyond the Dearborn Public Schools. And everyone in the community seems to be getting behind this and joining us in celebrating the Big Read and the Namesake. The final program, we don't have all the dates for those programs in between, but let me tell you, there'll be book talks, there will be food, because food is a really important theme in the Namesake, and there will be a lot of things centered around food. And But finally, the wrap-up is Saturday, April 28th, from 2 to 4 p.m. at the Henry Ford Centennial Library. So please call the library if you want to find out more about the activities, or visit the Big Read website. And our grant administrator, Henry Fisher, keeps that website up to date as much as possible, and so all the programs will be on the website. And we hope that you can join us.
Mary Ann, I can see from the size of the book, this is probably geared towards an upper level,
is.
high school.
Yeah, it is a high school level book.
Do we have something included in the programs that could be more tailored towards the younger
I think
students?
that the children's staff at the libraries will be doing various programs, and I think the schools will partner with us to do programs, but just focusing on how you got your name, recipes or food from your family, stories about how your parents or how you came to this country. I think there are so many themes that we can, even if the younger
book is
students
right.
can't read the book.
There must be something that
Yeah, we
that
can certainly
we can, do
reach
for
out to
too,
them.
because the families are generational as well. So even if
Right.
you have the high schooler reading it, they might have younger siblings as well who'd like to
Absolutely.
participate.
Yeah, we'll try to include as many people as we can in our activities. So thank you very much, and yes.
First of all, for our viewers, can you give them the website as well? For
Yes,
the Big
it's
Read?
bigreaddearborn.org.
And what a great topic, not only for all communities, but
Yeah.
this community in specific.
In particular,
so, yeah.
yes. And I think that people will be able to just understand what it takes to uproot your family and arrive in a new country where you may not speak the language and you just don't really understand the culture. It's challenging. Any
If
other
I could
questions?
also mention congratulations too on the grant with the locker.
Yes,
that'll be
we're very
implemented.
excited
Salina.
about that. I've been the director for about 10 years, and one of the things that I really wanted to do is somehow, some way, get some library service down into the Salina area. And so we will, hopefully, in the next month or so, 6 weeks, be installing a remote locker at the Salina Middle School. And this way, students and hopefully community members will be able to place library material on request, and that information will be transferred to the library electronically. We will have a person who will come to the locker with the material, put it in the locker, and then when the person scans their library card, the locker will pop open and they'll get their material.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then they can return it to the locker. There'll be a drop box there so that they can return it.
Are they going to be able to access what they would like to find at the locker as well, or do they have to do that at home from?
They probably, I think the first, they'll have to do it at a computer, and we're hoping to set up some training with the school so that the students can be trained how to search a book and how to place it on hold. It's not too complicated, but there is some training,
Yeah,
certainly.
we already had this conversation at the Federation of Neighborhood
We did.
Associations meeting because somebody was there who had heard about this at the council meeting.
Good,
And so
good.
brought it up. So it's
Yes.
become a topic of conversation
I'm
already.
so glad. It is an experiment. It is a 3-year federal grant that we were awarded. So we've got our fingers crossed, and hopefully it will be successful, and we can continue it on beyond those 3 years.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next.
Acknowledgement of donations. Oh, I don't have to read a student's name, huh?
No student names in this one. Very special thank you to Westbourne Chrysler. A donation of assorted auto parts has been offered to Etzel Ford by Westbourne Chrysler to be used in their auto lab. And second, very special thank you also to Ingersoll Rand Charitable Foundation for their donation of $10,000. It's been offered to Fortson High School to be used in Mark Kent's auto classes to enhance the auto education program. Thank you to Westbourne Chrysler and also Ingersoll Rand Charitable Foundation.
That's
Thank
great.
you. Next.
Openings highlights video. Hashtag students have to read all this first Dearborn school. I've seen this so much.
That was all over.
Yes,
It's the
I've seen it
promotion.
so much.
So we're going to play the video for the first day that Mr. Shigfrey and Mr. Mustin put together. And we were promoting the hashtag. Trustee Thomas Gunn.
I know, I saw it multiple times.
Summer's almost gone, it's time to get my learning on. Back to school, it's time to get back to school. I'm done with play, soon my grades I'll be slaying.
Summer is a really fun time with lots of stuff to do. Go vacation with the family, to camp for a week or two. I like the sunlight running through the sprinkler and having no homework. But after a while I do get bored, gotta end or go berserk.
Back to school, it's time to get back to school.
Back to school,
Summer's almost gone, it's time to get my learning
gotta get
on.
back to
Back to
the
school,
90s.
it's time to get back to
That
school.
robot school.
I'm done with play, soon my grades I'll be slaying.
Yo, we gotta go to class. We're gonna get good at math. Our grammar is gonna be resplendent. Yes, I'm gonna have perfect attendance.
Shopping's one of the best parts, to hunt for new supplies. Pencils and notebooks, rulers and glue, so many fun things to buy. I miss my friends, what a joy just to see them once more. And while homework I'll have again, at least I'm rid of summer chores. Back to school, it's time to get back to school. Summer's almost gone, time to get my learning on. Back to school, it's time to get back to school. I'm done with play, soon my grades I'll be slaying. Back to school, it's time to get back to school. Summer's almost gone, time to get my learning on. Back to school, it's time to get back to school. I'm done with play, soon my grades I'll be slaying.
was a great video. I love that. That's why we're here.
And we have one more. I think Mr. Mustin is going to talk about some of the events some of the schools are going to have to support our hurricane victims.
Good evening, everybody. You know, we talk about the term when it rains, it pours. I think this is a time where that term is not only something that it can be used figuratively, but literally, as we've seen both tragedies in dealing with weather tragedies in Texas and in Houston and in the entire state of Florida. Earlier, Dr. Maleko spoke about, during his comments about 9/11, he spoke about an American spirit, a resilient American spirit that really comes and shines through in these kinds of troubled times. Even today, just a day after the hurricane has moved through Florida, we've already seen video of people out, trying to get back to a normal way of life and fix things. But we all know that, given the amount of damage that occurred both in Houston and in Texas and in Florida, it's going to take a little while for that to happen. Our schools have always had a long history of stepping up to the plate during any kind of disaster and contributing to whatever the cause may be. I sent out an email to our schools, and several responded. I asked them, are your schools going to be doing anything? And I know we've only been back for a couple of days, but several schools did respond to me to let me know what they were doing. This is only a few. I know that pretty much all of our schools are involved in some types of efforts, but I just wanted to highlight a couple. One being a bake sale going on tomorrow at Salina. Their efforts will support Project Dignity Outreach. Etzel Ford will be taking on a couple different fundraising efforts, including using their Friday Jean money to help out Cypress Creek High School in Houston. A former Etzel grad is a teacher there and contacted them. Woodworth, their new leadership class, will be organizing a week-long donation campaign, which will also include a donation basket at their open house/barbecue event that they do there. Henry Ford Elementary will be also embarking on a fundraising efforts for both Harvey, for those who had losses in Harvey and in the most recent Hurricane Irma. Long Elementary School, tomorrow, students will be wearing a hat, donating $1 to wear a hat to school tomorrow. And those donations will be going to the American Red Cross. Gear Park students are also looking at adopting a school in Houston as well. Lindbergh Elementary and Hague Elementary are also involved in a couple of fundraising efforts that will benefit the American Red Cross. So, like I said, these are just a few that came across my desk. I have a few more that schools have contacted me to let me know what they're doing, and I just wanted to take a moment to share that with all of you and with the public, to let them know that although these things may be many miles away, right here in Dearborn, the students, the parents, the staff are all stepping up to help out.
Very
thank you.
timely. It brings to mind the Martin Luther King quote about everyone can be great because everyone can serve. So I'm always so proud of what our students and staff and families do. Thank you, David.
And we're used to this from our students. Time and time again, every time there's something in which they could lend a hand, they do. Even when there is no tragedy, like their battle for hunger, schools against each other, battling for something good, which is to provide food for the needy when there isn't a natural disaster. That's something that we see from our students in this community as a whole all the time. So they continue to make us proud.
Citizen participation. Citizens wishing to address the board on the agenda and non-agenda items for action who are signed in by 7:10 p.m. by submitting a blue card to the secretary may speak at this time. We have no blue cards.
Okay,
Unless I'm missing something here.
Nobody's standing up.
No.
So, okay.
Approval of minutes of the following Dearborn Board of Education meeting. Finance Committee meeting August 21st, 2017. Policy Committee meeting August 21st, 2017. Regular P12 meeting August 21st, 2017. And Board Study Session Tuesday, August 29th, 2017. Make any necessary corrections and move approval of these minutes.
So there's on the policy committee, the call to order
It says trustees Hammoud, Nasser, President, and Lane.
Oh,
It's just a typo that needs to be fixed.
okay.
Policy.
On the policy. Mhm. So, yes.
I-
Trustee Barry?
Was the motion second?
No,
Oh,
we need to
yeah,
second it.
Okay.
I think
I motioned for
Trustee
the
Hamud
adoption.
motioned. Did
So-
somebody second?
Support,
Oh, okay,
support.
so, okay, go ahead.
For
Trustee
the
Barry?
regular P12 meeting on page 30, under request for information, now I know I didn't get the answer. It says, under D, it says what the purchaser come forward. I believe I asked how the purchaser came forward.
Oh, okay, boy, we have some readers here, wow. People really.
I was questioning, I said, wait a
really
second, okay, I got
take,
some of
good-
the answers, I didn't get
okay,
all of it,
all
but
right.
yeah, I would like
So-
to know how the
okay,
purchaser came
how,
forward.
not
Yeah,
what, okay.
not what.
All right, we'll make those two slight changes. Anything else that anyone wanted to change? Okay, can I attach a unanimous affirmative to that? Okay, very good.